everybody. How are we? I legitimately forgot about my AirPods until like the 6-second mark. I forgot to make a timer just for this one. And I only have sprint timers. So who was prepared for today's chat? Not me. But that's okay. We're here. We're gonna make the best of it. It's good. Hi, Bree. Hi, Zoe. Amber's here. I know, I do love a good dance break. You guys know that about me. Amber's hanging out. She's going to be joining me later to chat as well, but I wanted to come on and say hi first. The timer does not go hard. That's the lamest timer of all timers, but it's all right. Thank you for being here to talk about A Curse in Ash. Thank you for getting the book, for reading it in such a timely manner that you could be here to talk about it with me. I knew that it was going to be a smaller attended event, and I am just still really excited to talk to you guys about the book, about the characters, answer any questions you have, talk about the process, clear up anything that you had questions about from the story, talk about our favorite characters. And just kind of dive into the story a little bit. It's not going to be like something crazy, crazy long, but I do have a fun giveaway. So stay tuned because we will be doing a giveaway. So here we go. Let's see what we're doing. Oh, thank you, Brie. I do my best. I can't believe that like the queen of making different timers did not have a timer prepared specifically for tonight. And I'd even removed the one from the launch because I was like, I'll never need the launch party one again. Technically no, but I could have used it tonight. Hi, Amy. Hi, Ashley. I know. Trust me. I am working incredibly, incredibly hard to get you guys book 2. And Amber's like, you can take the overlay away, Amber. You don't need me to do that for you. she has all the power. And it still said writing sprints. It's not a launch party. Get it off. Fuck around and find out. All right. Hi, Kathy. Yeah, so I wanted to come on. I thought it would be a cool little treat for everybody to come on and chat about the book after the fact and share any thoughts, feelings with me. And I was going to talk a little bit about the book, about the opportunities that have risen because of the book, what the process has been like for me, what the last month has been like for me, and a little bit more insight into writing the story, into the characters, and just kind of into the world, and give you guys updates on book 2. So that's what we're here to do. But I am fully happy to answer any questions that you guys have, talk about any theories, talk about any of the plot points, anything you want to talk about, I'm here to talk about. But I figured I would start with just A Curse in Ash in general. And I think that I've documented so much of this book from inception to like drafting to querying to publishing that I feel like you guys kind of know the process already. So it's hard to kind of sit down and be like, this is how it worked for me. But it was a really, really wild ride. And for a long time, I did not think this book was going to make it out into the world. I knew that it was not necessarily a very clear, shelvable book because it is contemporary fantasy. It is paranormal romance. It's like a blend of a lot of different genres that doesn't fall very succinctly into like one section in terms of marketability, which did make it difficult when I was querying and was one of like my biggest sticking points for the book. So I'm so happy that it found readers that really enjoy it and that seem to appreciate it. So thank you for being here. Thank you for, having the book, for loving the book, for talking about the book. The Bookstagram pictures have been stunning. That I've already had a piece of fan art that made me cry very much. And I have a whole like dedicated section on my website for Curse and Ash at the bottom with like, it says like what you shared. And it's all of these stunning pictures and quotes and praise for the book. And I appreciate everybody who read it, reviewed it, and talked about it. Because yeah, for a while there, I wasn't 100% sure this was something that was going to happen for me. And for those of you that may not know, I believe that if you're here, you probably do. But I was able, prior to even publishing the book, to negotiate and strike up a deal and a partnership with Unplugged Book Box so that my book could be in their book box, which was beyond anything I could have hoped for the book. It's definitely something that I had. It's like one of those like author dreams, one of those like amazing things that would be fantastic if you could get into a book box, except especially for somebody that unboxes them, who subscribes to them. Like, that was kind of beyond any dream, but that's been a really cool process, and I can't wait to share more about that as we get closer to January's Unplugged Book Box. But uh, the process of an exclusive cover, and not just an exclusive cover, by the way, it actually is like a fully exclusive book. It's a different kind of paper, a different feel. It like finally has that like big floppy paperback feel that I really, really wanted for the book, for like the actual printing of the book, but I wasn't 100% sure on the paper quality. So I didn't want to risk it with like the book as a whole. And so I decided to go ahead and give it a try for the exclusive. And I am so thrilled with the outcome. It truly is just like a beautiful book. So I'm very excited about it. Look at Amber throwing out questions. All righty. Let's see what we got. What was one part of the book that would have spoiled it, but you wanted to talk about the most? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like there's tons of parts of the book that I wanted to talk about, and I wasn't 100% sure at the beginning if I was going to reveal, in the blurbs or in the marketing, that Ash was part Fae, because there is, like, a moment that was, like, fun for me to write where she reveals it to Reardon, and there's that, like, gaspy moment, and there's also kind of that, like, "What do you mean?" moment when you find out that she's engaged to Brydock, and that, was really fun for me to write. But then in terms of it being more paranormal romance and falling into specific like paranormal categories, some of that had to kind of get revealed. So those were things that I didn't necessarily have intentions to reveal prior to people reading, and then they ended up, kind of being a part of the blurb and the marketing for the book. Um and then probably just little snippets of, like, larger moments, the fact that Aunt Maggie still gets me, because that was something that I hadn't intended on writing. It was not a part of the original, outline for the book. It wasn't it wasn't something that I saw happening for the book, so that was one. A lot of people were like, "It's so fun, it's so flirty, it's such a feel-good book, it's such a fun read," and then they would get to the end and be like, "How very dare you?" And I'm like, they're like, "You got me so upset." And I was like, "What do you mean I got you so upset? Like, nothing that bad happens, everything's fine." And they're like, "Are you kidding me?" And I was like, "Oh, that's right. Oh, that moment. I'm sorry. My bad." So probably that. I know, Zoe. I know. Um, that was one of those moments in writing where I realized that I had been like hinting at consequences, and the sprites had been interacting with Reardon and warning him off, and the Fae had been warning him off. Um, and then in book one, at least, there had been no consequences for those warnings. And I knew where those warnings were going to go in subsequent books, but I had to write this book as if it was a standalone. And so when I was treating it like a standalone, before I realized I was going to be able to do all three books, I had to have some consequence to those threats. And I do think it makes the book stronger to have that like moment at the end. But yeah, it stunk. I didn't like it either. Uh because he's amazing. I'm gonna go with just because he's great. Um I don't know. I know you maybe shouldn't have favorites, but I do love Bry. I think he's a lovable character for somebody that's like so big and intimidating. He's just he's a good guy. I think that's the overall consensus. I think Bry's a fan favorite. I know. I know. And she was really sweet. I really liked her as a character. And I originally thought that I was gonna dive a little bit deeper into her story, and then it didn't happen. I don't know, I still feel like she could be, like, a novella or a bonus chapter or something like that, like, her story with her Ravdi and, their relationship and, like, her past. I just thought she was a really cool character. I I'm sorry. I'm sorry I did that to you. Um, I hadn't even looked at that question yet. She can and she will. You really don't have to ask too nicely. If you A, piss her off or B, turn her on, she will probably punch you in the face. So either one of those are options that she would be fine with. Good morning, Siobhan. Okay, well, I'm very, very glad that you're loving it. Don't stay if you don't want to get spoiled. I don't want to do that to you. But thank you for stopping in. Yes, novellas are an option. Before I get to the next question, Ashley, I see a question from you and I love it. I love it. I love it. I want to share that I shared on social media, but I do want to do, and I am doing a giveaway of a signed, personalized, and annotated copy of the book for people that have read it and are here. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of the buzz, excitement, and like support for A Curse and Ash. I appreciate it so, 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 so much. So I want to do a giveaway for you guys. It will only be running for the length of the live show. So click over there and enter. It's super, super fast. I'm not asking you to share anything. I'm not asking you to sign up for a newsletter. Just go and sign up and you will be entered. I will pull a winner. I don't know if it's going to be pulled while the live show is still going on. I might do it like just after. But I want to make sure that it's just for people that actually like attend the live show. So go over there, fill it out. It's super, super simple. And I will be offering that to one of you. And I apologize. It is US only for right now because shipping. It's a pain in the butt, but I'm sorry. Okay. Ashley, what was your favorite scene or part to write and your least favorite? I think one of my favorite scenes is when Bry shows up to Letty's house when Ash and Reardon are there, like finding her, and he like swoops down out of his truck. And Reardon's inner monologue when he's thinking about Brynock at the beginning of the book, when they're still like rivals, is it's just always something that has stuck out to me as just like humorous. And I loved writing that initial gut reaction to this like big, brawny, sexy dude who's in your girlfriend's life and you don't really know what to do with that. So when he swoops out of the car, out of the truck, and he's like, of course he would show up. Like, of course he would know that this was going on and like be here to support Ash. And what he calls them, like a fucking Faye Fabio. And I die every single time. Or when he gets in a little not argument with Ash, but like they have like a disagreement of sorts. And he's like, I just sent her home with a god of sex and abs. And like Reardon's thoughts about Bry have always really made me laugh. I laugh every single time. I had to edit those or write those, which is really fun for me. And then I think my least favorite part is probably when Ash gets stabbed, because I'm not necessarily a squeamish person, but the research that I had to do on like how and where you could be stabbed in the clavicle area and not like die or sever something like essential was troubling. And I may or may not be on watch lists now because it was I had to ask some medical experts because I had no idea. Um yeah. I don't know if that would make her punch you harder or softer, but it's an option. And I will get Amber in here soon so that we can talk too. But thank you for coming. Thank you for popping in. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. For loving the book. I appreciate you. Thank you, Siobhan. Uh, here we go. Here we go. Will the character of Amber return in some way? Because she kind of felt like a badass. She will. Absolutely. Amber sticks around. Amber is there for the entirety of the series, and she does have a role to play. She is not going to ever be like a major character, but she will be somebody who like stays involved throughout the story. So I love Amber. She's fantastic. And she will stick around. So absolutely. Ashley, um, you know, I hadn't thought about that. I don't hate that idea. If you want to do that, then that would be fine. If you're willing to do that, that's not a problem. I don't know what it would be. I know that the like international shipping for the swag was not like too bad, but I know books are like a weird thing. Canada's probably not as bad as some other places. I know that I have readers from like all over. There's definitely different price points for shipping. So if that's something that you want to do, that's fine. Uh, I did I did laugh every single time, and Amber can verify it. So why don't we bring Amber in? She can come hang out. You're welcome. Listen, I'm not trying to be like non-inclusive. It's just like a matter of like sheer shipping nightmares around the holidays and in general because I'm offering the annotated book. I have not annotated the book yet. So it will take some time because I am still in the middle of drafting and other things, and we'll talk about book 2. Um I can't get to it like right this minute. So my goal is still to get it out like by early December, but I don't have it ready yet. So I'm worried about like shipping in terms of holidays and any delays. I just don't want things to get lost on the way to people. And that is my concern. But let's bring in Amber. So I have somebody to talk with because I hate being here by myself. Don't like it.
Hello. I'm
Uh,
here. I was having fun back in the background listening to you.
just hanging out. Just hanging out.
Also, I'm okay if it's a harder punch because she's turned on, because in the end game of having her turned on would be so fun.
She's pretty great. I do
Yeah,
love Brina.
she is one of, like, they're just the two of them, like just the twins. Like, I just I love them.
I also want to share. I'm going to put into the comments the link to the Pinterest board. Let me know if it doesn't work for you. But if you have not already looked, the Pinterest board for A Curse and Ash is linked on my author website. So you should be able to go there and get it, or you can click the link there. If you're wondering about like setting character inspiration, what I think they look like, anything like that, you can check out that link and it will give you some idea. Again, as a writer with aphantasia, I kind of need those visual cues and images to help me write. So that's what I was kind of thinking of. So if you want to like have that up while we chit chat, that's fine. And if you have any questions, that's fine as well. But I thought that would be something fun to let you guys see because I have shared it, but it's like on my website and I'm not necessarily like throwing it out there that's the inspo. It's available to people, but I'm not like widely announcing. So Pinterest board down there in the links and also giveaway down there in the links. If you want to check those out. How did you help, Amber?
I was mostly just a sounding board for you to work out your issues and just listen to when you. I have to rewrite it again. Oh my god! And I was like, it'll be better. It'll just be better. It'll be fine.
How much
That's
of a
all. I
pain in
didn't
the
actually
butt?
help. I just was there for you to
Yeah, yeah.
give your frustrations, and most of the time you will throw out things and like, well, what if this happened? What if that happened? And then I'll start giving you ideas, and then you're like, no, I don't like any of those. But what if this happened? And I'm like, great.
That is
That's
true.
awesome.
I struggle a lot of the times with like, I don't really know what happens here. And she'd be like, well, maybe this or maybe that or maybe that. And I'm like, no, those don't feel right. But like this might be able to happen. And then every time I started like doubting it, and I was like, this is garbage. This is hot garbage. Nobody should have to read this. She's like, stop it. And she also is the only person on this entire planet that has read the first iteration of this book, like the
I
very
still
first
have it.
draft.
Oh, I still have not all of it. I still have the ending, like the
Yeah.
100 last pages.
Yep.
But
So she was the very
yeah,
first,
the very first rough draft, very first.
and it changed a lot from there,
Oh,
a lot.
it's not the same book. Like you could talk about that book and because it wouldn't give anything away because it's an entirely different book.
Yeah. No, it's a completely different book,
Yeah.
but it has been really helpful to have somebody there from the beginning to the end, and then also just somebody who allows me to, like, have little freak out moments, which is fantastic.
As far as I know, I only was inspiration for the name of the character because, Julie did that like have a character named after me that I entered years ago. And
Yeah.
but Amber is who I wish I could be. Like she's a badass and like tattooed
Yeah.
and just amazing. Like I love tattoos as well. And it's just like she is amazing. Like I would only dream of being that cool. Like I would never I could never be that cool.
You could. Yeah, Amber was definitely inspiration for the name. I had a lot of names that ended up in the book that were actually a part of a contest that I ran years and years and years ago to have your name used in the book as one of like the Fae names. So I think in terms of the book, Brynox Familiar was one of the names. Joshana was one of the names. Amber. Quinn was like Ashlyn Quinn. Her last name was one of the names that wanted to be used. I'm trying to think who else.
There was a lot in there. There's actually a
There was
lot.
there was a lot in there that actually ended up being part of the giveaway winners, and more in subsequent books that end up being there. That were winners that got to have their name put into the book. So that was a fun thing to be able to do, because there's certain times where I'm like, I don't know this character's name, or the character's name changes partway through, and then I was able to make sure that those people got their names in there, which was fun.
My favorite part of the book, I've always had a soft spot for the scene at the pool party. It's because it's like Brina is like such a badass in that scene, and like I have a lady boner for her. So like I just love. I've always like that scene has changed a lot over the courses of like your different edits, but I've always had a soft
Yeah.
spot for it.
Yeah.
I do love that scene.
Yeah. That's a fun one. I think it's probably one of the only times that Bry tries to be like purposely intimidating and kind of like broody and dark, and Ash gets like, I mean, he has, his other moments, but it was a fun way to kind of introduce him and his sister and kind of get like Reardon's reaction.
It was like the first scene where we had all of these characters kind of in one place. We had like
Mhm.
Brina and Brynock, and we had Reardon, we had Ash, and like we just had so many people in one place. And I
Yeah.
really loved seeing how their interactions were going to start like forming. And
Mm.
everybody is so witty and like it's just I don't know, it's such a good scene. Another scene I actually do really like is at the beginning of the book when you have her go and investigate like that death. It felt very urban fantasy to me, and it was so vivid, and I was like, I love this scene. Like it feels like I'm there, and I'm like a witch. There's something to do with a witch. Like I do love that scene too.
I love that scene too. The pool party is fun because it's one of like it might be the only time in that book that like Letty, Trent, Bry, Reardon, like Ash are all together, because like the other party scene where they're all together, Letty's not there, right? So yeah, that was a fun one, because I love, one of the things that I love the most in writing in general, but especially in this book, are writing relationships and writing friendships. So like Ashlyn and Letty and Trent were really important for me to get right. And like Letty and her family and that dynamic was really important for me to get to like feel really real. Um and then obviously like the romantic relationships were really important for me to get right and make feel good, like I wanted them to be healthy but be sexy. And yeah, that was a really big focus for me, and it always is in my writing. I feel like even now drafting book 3, I have a really really clear idea of like relationship arcs and character arcs and where everybody needs to go, and then I'm like, oh, the plot's the plot. I
The plot's
prefer and I
great.
really enjoy writing like
I do enjoy your character work, especially like, Letty is someone who really honestly is not someone I can super relate to. She has all these like brothers and sisters and like she has this big family and her the way that she lives her life is so different than my experiences. I was an only child until I was like 14 and everything, but I still feel like I could go and just like hang out with her little brothers and like go to like a ball pit and like hang out with them because I know them even though
so cute.
I only read about them. I don't actually know them.
They are sweet though. I like them. Like her family in general, like her family life felt very much like, I mean, I don't come from a family that big, but it felt a lot like mine. Like we had family dinners. We were all there. We were all together. And it just becomes this really like warm, loving, but also like pain in the ass kind of a feeling when her like brothers narking on her for like cursing, like different little things. And I loved the sleepover scene with Letty and Trent and just like Trent's snark with her, like all of it. I love them. I love them all.
Yeah, I think the thing too is like Letty going into this like sleep thing was pretty early on in your draft. Like
Mhm.
you're an earlier draft, so it's something that stuck around throughout. Like I think it was what your first rewrite it kind of had that, and then it kind of just stuck after
Yeah.
that. And I remember the first time that I read that part, I was like, Julie, how could you do this to her? She's a sweet bean. How could you do this?
I
You were like,
know.
I'm sorry. You're like, I
I
needed it
know.
to hurt. I needed it to hurt.
I know. I know.
And that was
Okay,
way before Maggie, though. So now I'm like, how dare you?
yeah. That was pretty early. You're like, this is too much. And I was like, oh, it's not as bad as it's gonna get. Um, sorry. Can I tell you anything about a character that we will get to know better in the next book and or new characters we will meet? Yes. Um, I can confirm that there will be more POVs in book 2. So we will get additional POVs in book 2. So we definitely will be getting to know characters better and kind of seeing through their eyes in book 2. And that was something that was really important to me. And then we get an additional POV in book 3. So yeah, you will definitely be seeing more from certain characters. They are characters, the POV characters that are going to be added are characters that you already met in book 1. I won't confirm who, but you can definitely let me know in the comments if you have a favorite or somebody that you hope to have a POV from. I would love to know what you think. But yes, we will definitely be seeing a lot more of Letty and the consequences and repercussions and side effects of the sleeping curse and what that means for her and we'll definitely be getting more of the Fae. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of Bry's family and I think I would assume that it's pretty clear that Ash and Reardon and Bry have a connection that's really, really important. And therefore, Bry will definitely be a POV in book 2. So I think I can tell you that. I don't think that would be, super spoilery. I don't think there's a way
I
to
don't think
continue with
that's
the book
out of the
series.
realm of possibility anyway,
No, no, exactly. And that's something that felt really natural. And especially as I started to explore the book more, it felt like really lofty for me as a first time novel writer to have too many characters. And then the more I got to know them, the more I felt comfortable writing in their heads. And getting through book 1, I was like, there is no way to continue this story without seeing Bry's POV and without seeing Ash and Reardon through his eyes and the world through his eyes. So yeah.
Yeah, and before anybody gets jealous, I have not actually gotten to read book 2 yet. But I am excited to be able to see the world through different characters' eyes, just because the way that they see it is going to be different than the way that Reardon or Ash see it. And especially with the fallout of the sleeping curse and things like that, I'm excited to kind of start to see the world through some new eyes. I'm excited about that. So nobody
Yeah.
has to be jealous. I haven't read it yet either. So
No. Yes, the name giveaway was a lot
it
of
was like
fun.
3 or 4 years ago. It was a long
It was
time
a
ago.
long time ago. I literally had a Google Doc of everybody's like name, their email address, and like what name they wanted. And then I just kind of wrote it into my like book notebooks, my novel notebooks, and I just started pulling names. Hi, Barbara. Still waiting for my library to buy a book. Oh, a sprint while watching your last video. Good luck with your sprints. I hope you're not still here because that would suck.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil anybody. She's waiting for her library to get my book in. She requested it at her library, which you can do too. I know you guys have already read it, but you can request it at your library. You can review it. You can talk to your friends about it. Listen, the holidays are coming up. You can gift it to everybody. I love Letty too. Found family. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
That's important to Julie.
Yeah, it's very, very important to me that the relationships and the friendships and like that aspect was always, always very important to me. So thank you very much. I know. Yeah. And like I said, I think that just felt like a little bit too lofty for me to have that many POVs in the book when I was just starting out, but it's definitely one that I think needs to be there now. And I kind of like having a little bit of mystery around him in the first book and only kind of getting to see him through Ash's eyes and Reardon's eyes because they both have very different feelings towards him. So it was it was interesting.
They don't even know how good they have it. In the very first draft, Brynoch was literally like a paragraph. That's it. He was in there for a paragraph. And I was reading and I put the manuscript down and I went, who's this? I want more of him, please. And he wasn't even named. He was in the book all the way through.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah, he wasn't even named in the first iteration. He had no name. He was just like this dark fae presence in the woods. One little tiny, yeah, it was like I think he popped up twice, but they were both very, very short instances. And she was like, "Who is this? Like, that's what I want." And I was like, "Yeah, that's what I want too."
Dark fae, please, dark fae.
Yeah. So that became something that got expanded a lot. But she's right. You don't know how good you have it because he was not a part of it at first at all.
No, and he's literally everyone's favorite character.
Yes. Be nice to Letty. Listen.
She will.
I am gonna break your hearts. I am. I'm sorry. But yes. If you watched my highlights vlog from this last round, just 2 weeks ago, I full out sobbed. I had like tears. Amber was just handing me tissues as I was writing book 3, and I was losing my mind. And she was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm not okay." And Amber's kind of like the only person that knows bits and pieces of the story. And even book 2, I don't think you have like a full scope of, but like for the most part. And then the larger moments, I think she knows, but I had to kind of like whisper to her what I was writing because I was there with Katie and Kate. They don't know the twist. They don't know the turns. They don't know the stuff that's happening in books 2. So to be writing book 3 and like hysterically crying, she's like, "What did you do to them?" I'm like, "I can't talk about it."
I know when you told me what you were writing, I was like, "Here's the tissues." I was like, "Okay, here you go." Oh no, this is gonna be hard. You're gonna have to get through it. Breathe. And you sobbed. I don't think they understand how hard you sobbed. I had headphones in, like AirPods, playing music on my computer, typing away, and I hear like, and I was like, and I look over, and you're just like, I mean, you were like, if you were wearing makeup, it would have been all over your face. Luckily, you weren't wearing any makeup. It was just tears and your face was red, and I was like, "Oh my god, what happened? Oh my god." And then he told me, and I was like, "Okay, here's tissues." I had some in my bag throughout the rest of the trip just to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
So yes, she broke her own heart. She's definitely gonna break yours.
Yeah, it was a rough one. But I mean, the book's better for it, right? But it was a tough one.
I was trying to make you feel better, and I was like, "It's okay, Julie, they're not real." And you were like, "They are real."
I have never been more offended. Never.
I was trying to make you feel better, like
they are. The bonus chapter. I'm saving it to tide me over while waiting for book 2. I get it. Lily got it as soon as Lily read an early copy before the book came out, and the bonus chapter had not been set up yet. Like it wasn't fully linked. So in the ebook and in the back of the paperback, there's a link that you can go to download a bonus chapter. And the bonus chapter is in Bry's POV. So you do get a little taste of Bri, but I ended up emailing it to Lily because it wasn't available yet through like the actual link. And she was like, I'm going to need it. I'm going to need it now. And I was like, you got it, girl. She was fantastic in helping to raise some buzz for the book before it came out. A reminder in the chat, Amber, can you shove the giveaway link in there again? Just one more time?
Yeah.
For the signed, personalized, annotated copy of the book. I got all these copies of the book, and then I was like, I'm not selling these. I don't want to be responsible for that shipping nightmare. So I'm going to, this will not be the only giveaway for an annotated book. I'm probably going to annotate a couple of them at once. So I'll give out one now, and I might do other giveaways over time. So that's an option. There is a bonus chapter, and you should check it out.
You can get it at the back of the ebook or the back of the paperback. There's either a QR code or there's a direct link you can go to. It's an amazing bonus chapter. You need to read it.
It is just a QR code, even in the book, right?
There's a QR code and there's a link.
Yeah. But if you scan the QR code, it goes right to. Yeah, show the people.
I'm happen to have the book right here. What do you know? So there's a QR code. It says scan me, and there's also the link.
Yep.
I can put the link in the comments if you would like.
That was my thank you.
Also, yes, I do have multiple copies of the book. Thanks. I bought all the copies.
I have so many. It's ridiculous.
It's my friend.
It's my friend. Amber is also currently sitting on a copy of the Unplugged book box. And
you'll never find it.
It's hidden. You'll never find it. Amber helped me redesign the cover for the book. So for Unplugged. So she got to see the early proof copy of it. And I gave her the early proof copy of it when she came. She was like, what do I do? And I was like, dude, what do I do? I can't show anybody either. It sucks. If you're interested, by the way, in the Unplugged book box and getting the exclusive edition of the book, which is not, like I said, it's not just an exclusive cover. It is also exclusive paper. Like the actual interior of the book is different. It's like floppier. It's beautiful. I love it.
It's great. It's amazing.
Yeah, it will definitely be what I go with for the rest of the series, just because it's chef's kiss. If you're interested in that, Unplugged adult fiction boxes have been selling out. So I would recommend getting a 3-month subscription, because I can't guarantee if you try to get a one-off in January that they're going to be available. Just saying.
They're selling out every month, man. They are selling out.
It's totally up to you. I'm just letting you know ahead of time because I don't want to upset people. It would break my heart. And there's a link down below. I get absolutely nothing from it, but there is a discount code down there. So if you want to use it and it counts towards subscriptions, you may do that. But no pressure. I'm not getting anything more from Unplugged than I already did just for like having the book in there. So it means I'm not trying to pimp it. I'm just saying, letting you know. Something I personally really loved was that the characters are constantly trying to grow themselves, and also that they try to fix things in their relationships and understand and treat each other better. Thank you, Bri. Yeah, that
is one thing I do love too, is just the open communication. Whereas in most ones that are either urban fantasy, contemporary fantasy, paranormal romance, whatever you want to describe it as, there's always that miscommunication trope. And I just love that they have this, polyamorous relationship happening, and yet they're very open and honest with each other. Even, Reardon to Brynock and Brynock to Reardon, they're just very open and honest with each other. And that's really refreshing to see it not be like, oh, I thought this, but that's not what it was. No. Ash is quick to be like, okay, what is it? Tell me now. We're not going to do this.
No. And I really, really dislike the miscommunication trope. And I understand it to a certain extent in YA, because they're just not comfortable asking certain questions, or they don't feel like they deserve like clarification, or it's awkward. In an adult novel, I just hate leaning on that. And I know that there's some people that are like, well, it's not realistic that there's never going to be. I'm like, yeah, of course, there's always going to be the chance of miscommunication, but you can't build a relationship on like lack of communication. Like it just doesn't work. And I knew that their relationship to each other was going to be way too important to start out that way, and it will not end that way. Like, they are going to maintain that throughout, whether it's family, whether it's the romantic relationships. It's really important to me that they A, communicate, B, check in with each other, and they care for each other. They love each other, whether it's found family or romance. It's, you know, they're their people. They're their lobsters. You gotta take care of them.
Yeah, and it does make sense in YA because we've all been 16, 17 years old, and you are afraid to ask certain questions, and you do
Yeah.
always, you're scared to like mess things up, or you don't really know. But once you're old enough to have been in relationships, and if you're gonna have two dudes, you're gonna have to be open with your communication, man. You
Yeah.
can't fumble your way around that when you got two great dudes that you want to keep in your life. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
No, you cannot. See page 350, 375. Certain opening scene from Romancing the Stone. If you know, you know. Wasn't
I've
it
never
like,
seen
what's
that.
the, I think the opening scene for that was like Smexy time. She was like reading from the book that she wrote, but it was like a Smexy time scene, I think. I'm pretty sure.
I just know that
You
there was
really,
a
you really
porn
were.
called Romancing the Bone that
Yeah,
parodied
that's a
it.
different thing.
And that's the only one I've seen.
Different thing.
I've not
Totally
actually
different.
seen the movie.
You really were. It was very, very cute.
It was sweet. You were like, Lily wants the bonus chapter already.
She
It's
needs
not
it
ready.
now. I was still like formatting it because I had it like formatted, and Amber did a cover for it, which is beautiful. I love the cover. She did the cover for it as well, and it was just perfect. And also, I do have character art coming. I want to know if you guys know character artists or artists in general that do digital art, that can do character work. I really, really, really want to commission character art for each of my characters. I already won like a fundraiser character art, like full body drawing, and I'm going to have that done. But I kind of want to get all three of them done. So if you know anybody at all, let me know. If you have somebody that you think does really good artwork, because I definitely think, especially with like my Pinterest boards, and I mean, I know my characters. I can give you descriptions. I want to see them. I'm dying for like character art. Will there be a full tarot deck available in the future? No, probably not. However, the intention at this point is to offer the like 3 tarot cards with each book. So 3 books, 9 cards. There is an exclusive card in Unplugged. So there's one card that you're only ever going to get if you get the Unplugged book box that is a part of the set. So yeah, we've got the 3 from A Curse in Ash, the Magician, Temperance. Oh, it's the Chariot. Chariot. I tried to psychically figure out which one you're going to do next, and Temperance. And then I won't tell you which one it is, but there is an exclusive in Unplugged, and then we have a couple picked out for the subsequent books. So there will be more. I'm very glad that you got it.
Enjoy. It's a good one. Enjoy.
Yeah, I love it. It was really important to me that I have something at the end of the book as just like a thank you for reading. That was just like a little bonus something. So I'm glad that you enjoyed that.
I love it when authors and give bonus chapters and stuff. I love it when that happens.
Yeah, and I also feel like I have characters that I love that I've been spending this much time with, for like the last 5 years I've been working on these characters, and I know so much about them and their backstory and their lives before the book. And there's no end to the like little novellas or short stories or extra chapters that I could do, just because, I know them well enough. And for a while there was questions about whether or not I would continue the series, like maybe not from Ash Reardon or Bry's POV, but from like a completely different POV, or do spinoffs. I still don't know the answer to that. So who knows? Right now I'm in the process of fast drafting books 2 and 3. So basically I really quickly wrote book 2 and then moved directly to writing book 3. And then my thinking for that was that if I really quickly draft book 2 and move directly to book 3, then I can see the full arc of the plot and the full arc of the characters. And then if anything comes up and like this aha moment for book 3, I can make sure that I lay like Easter eggs in the groundwork for it in book 2. Sometimes those moments happen. Like I said, I did not know that the bakery was going to explode, that Aunt Maggie was going to die until the very last like iteration of writing book 1. So that was like the very last thing that I wrote in A Curse and Ash. And that was, like pre-querying and everything. Like it wasn't like a last minute edit, but it was a last minute writing. So I figured if anything like that happened with book 3, I wanted to be able to know to like, work that in book 2. So turns out I hate doing that. I don't love it. Turns out that sucks. I'm not having a good time. I'm solidly like 46,000 words into book 3 and I'm like, I don't love this. Not that I don't love the book. I love the book, but I don't love the process of writing book 3 before I know like I've really honed in and perfected book 2. For some reason it's just really getting to me. So what I'm doing right now is writing all of those pivotal scenes in book 3, like the things that I know absolutely have to happen to be able to wrap up story threads and character arcs. And then I am finishing that. And then I will leave book 3, go back to book 2, and start to edit and do my self edits and research editors and do all that daunting stuff and then get it out to critique partners and beta readers. So if anybody wants to be a beta reader, let me know. And start working on book 2 and getting that out. And then once I have like a really clear idea of book 2, I can go back into book 3. And who knew? Who knew that was going to happen? Not me. Book 2 will be longer than book 1, I'm sure. I'm sure each subsequent book will probably get longer, just because there's more to wrap up and every book is going to kind of introduce something new. So naturally they're going to get a little bit longer. I've got more POVs in each book. So naturally that's going to extend things a little bit. There's a lot of different threads and a lot of things happening in the series. So, man, guys, I don't know. I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to get back to book 2 because shit goes down. But also really fun things happen. It's not all tears. There's a lot of smexy time. There's a lot of laughter. There's a lot of like joy and appreciating all of those like small moments. And those are the things that I really, really love. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the smexy time too. I love Aunt Maggie. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lily. I'm pretty sure you texted me and you're like, why would you do that? I was like, I'm sorry. But yes, a beta reader is somebody that I would probably send the book to. Probably, I don't know. I don't know how exactly I want to utilize it. If I'm going to do critique partners and then professional developmental edits and then do beta after, I'll probably do beta after the professional developmental edits and then do critique partners.
I think beta would be best for like when it's almost done and they can kind of help catch some of the small things that need to be tweaked.
Yeah. But I've been really, really blessed and really lucky. And I've had fantastic critique partners and beta readers and early readers. And that has been that's been phenomenal. They are absolutely priceless. And there's a reason that my dedication and my acknowledgments so heavily lean on the booktube community, the bookstagram community, the book community in large. Not just because I'm a part of it, but because I genuinely like respect and appreciate how much work goes into it. I am fully aware of the marketing potential and power of booktube, of bookstagram, of book reviewers. And as somebody who did that when I had time to read, like you can't underappreciate that. You can't overappreciate that. Like there's no words for how fantastic everybody has been about the book. And I've been really, really clear, especially to friends, but even here, like on my platform, that I don't expect anything. in terms of reviews. I don't expect anything in terms of like sharing about the book. I want everybody to be fully honest and transparent about the book. And if they don't like it, they don't like it. That's fine. And I've tried to respect reviewer spaces and not, comment on YouTube videos if they mention my book. At least not in regards to my book, because I want to let them have that space and feel safe in that space to say what they want. And it's been interesting because I know that that's been a discussion in the book community at large. And then kind of being on both sides of that line has been interesting to navigate. But everybody's been fantastic. It really has just been a fantastic month. Every time somebody posts a Bookstagram picture or tags me or talks about the book, it's like all over. It's just this like joyous thing. I know that Amber was there at highlights with me while I was getting tagged in like a couple Bookstagram pictures that were just stunning, like absolutely beautiful. And I was like, oh my gosh, because I know the kind of work that goes into taking pictures like that. Like they were gorgeous. And I appreciate every single one of them. It's every time it feels like I have to like pinch myself and be like, is this a thing that's happening? Like, wait a minute. I was like, you're telling me that my book is out there. People are reading it. People like it. I get to be in a book box. Like I get to have all these like really super cool opportunities. And like, that's me. Like I get to do that. It still feels crazy. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Do I ever look at reviews? Yeah. Oh,
That's my picture.
Love it.
I was like, I'm putting it up by your cabin number.
I know. Well, it's funny. I didn't write A Curse and Ash there. But I did over the summer start word 1 of book 2 there. And then this time in November, I started word 1 of book 3 there. So books 2 and 3 very much have been born at highlights.
But you also got our second time we were there in the summer, you got the internal formatting from your editor back, and
I did.
We got to see that for the first time, and it was kind of cool.
I did. I got to see the chapter headers and the font and like the page number layout and the text message formatting. I got to see all of that while we were there and be able to kind of like take a look at that for the first time and give them my feedback on what I wanted changed and what worked. And I was like, oh my God, like it for the first time, it looked like a real book instead of just looking like a Word document. And I had a moment. I had a few moments. I feel like
it was a nice moment.
Yeah. There's been a lot of them. Just like sit back and pinch yourself and be grateful moments.
But then the full circle of then you go in the fall and now you're getting the Bookstagram pictures for the book that you got the internal formatting from and the last time you were there. Like it was kind of full circle. It was kind of cool.
It was really neat. So to answer your question, do I ever look at reviews and how do I handle that? I don't want to, but I do. Like I don't know how to stop myself, but
you
also
can't
I know
stop her from looking at them.
I try. And I'm like, I'm going to be good. It's not something I do every day. It's not even something I do every week, but like every now and then I'll be like, here's the thing. I don't use Goodreads anymore. I use StoryGraph, but every now and then I'll want to look something up and I want to see what my friends rated a book that I like read and I have thoughts on. So I'll need to go to Goodreads because a lot of my friends aren't on the StoryGraph. So I end up going to Goodreads. And the only Goodreads, which is my fault, I know I could correct it, but the only Goodreads link that I have right now just goes directly to my book. So I end up on my landing page for Goodreads and then going to wherever I'm trying to go. So then I can always see what like my average rating is. And I'm like, it changed. Somebody rated my book. Going down and I look at it. It's bad. It's bad. So I will say for right now, yes, I have looked at some and I have pulled quotes from them and then made them into like really beautiful images. I think so. I mean, onto my website so that I can have like little like praise blurbs, which make me so joyously happy because a lot of them have talked about like consent and character work and communication, which just means the world to me. So yeah, I do, but I'm not going to forever. Ideally, I would not. Caitlin Duncan, who is a part of our Writers Hive and who is a phenomenal friend, has agreed to go in like every few weeks or every month and just pull quotes that might be usable for marketing or for my website. And then also to pull any constructive criticism and feedback. So I think that it's really difficult to grow from 5-star ratings or 1-star ratings, right? Like if you're 1-starring it, it's probably just like not your cup of tea. It was never going to be for you. There's probably nothing I can do to fix that. If it's a 5-star rating, thank you. I love knowing what I do well. That is helpful. But there are sometimes you get like a 3-star review and there's something in there and they're like, this didn't work for me. Like, I really love the story. I love this. I love that. But like, this didn't work. And then I know that I can work on that thing. So Caitlin is going to probably end up starting to pull those quotes and those like that feedback for me, because it's not good for my it's not good for my mental health or anxiety to obsess over like the ratings or the reviews. I've been so blessed and so lucky, and they have been wholly positive and praise filled, and that is phenomenal. And as much as like Unplugged is a complete blessing and I'm so excited for it, I know with certainty that that book is going to go out to people that may not be my target audience or may not have picked my book up otherwise. And they may read it and they may hate it because it's not something that they sought out on their own, or they would have sought out on their own. And then they read it and they don't like it. So the exposure is great and the expanded reach is phenomenal. But I know that as my book gets further and further away from me and the people that I interact with online, and the more that it grows, which is beautiful to see, the more I'm going to start running into other kinds of reviews. And it's just not something that I can focus on, especially when I'm in a mental mindset of wanting to be creative and continue with book 2 and continue with book 3. And if negative reviews come, or when negative reviews come, that's not going to be something that's healthy for me to look at while I'm writing. So that's how it's not easy. It's not easy as an author, because I think the natural inclination is to want to go and look at those things. And then I'm like, don't look at them. It's so hard not to sometimes.
Reviews are for readers, not for the writers, truly. Mm-hmm. But as a reader and a writer, it's hard to not go look.
It is. It is. And I've accepted that the book is not, that particular book is not mine anymore. That's everybody else's. And I want you to take from it what you take from it. And I want you to feel what you feel in regards to that book. But books 2 and 3 are still, they're still mine until I share them. And so I need to kind of protect that process as well. So yeah, there's that. Your weekly bath picture was phenomenal. And it also made me wish I had a bathtub and a body that fit in a bathtub. I do not.
You're too tall.
I'm too tall. One half of me is always very cold. So like, but it was beautiful. It really was. And the pictures genuinely make me so happy. So yeah. And the link is down there again in the comments if you want to enter the giveaway. Let's see. So I finished the book weeks ago, and just today finally had makeup on and time to film the outro to my vlog. So I'm finally ready to edit my reading vlog for this. Oh my gosh.
I'm excited to watch that.
I can't. I'm very excited too. And thank you for inviting me. There's been a couple people who have been doing like reviews or things that have kind of like invited me into their space and said, I'm more than happy for you to watch and comment, which is kind of the only time that I will comment on videos specifically mentioning my book, is if a reviewer or a YouTuber has invited me to do that. But I'm glad. I'm excited to see it.
I would like to see it.
I'm very short, and even I don't get all the way under the water. And listen, I can't.
Think about Julie with her like 5. What are you, 5'9", 5'10"?
5'10".
Yeah, like it's a tall woman to get up under all that water. I'm 5'4" and I don't get all the way up under the water. So
yeah, no,
I need one of those like big jacuzzi tubs to actually get in the water.
Yeah, there's it's not like, oh, some of my body's out of the water. No, like a significant portion of my body is naked and vulnerable. Like it's out of the water.
It's like, oh, one of my butt cheeks is warm. Thanks.
No, it's bad. It's bad. Like I'm in there like up to my hips, and then like belly and everything else is out, or I'm like laying in it completely and like my legs are fully up the wall. Like there's no good way to do it. Zero.
You also missed one that I want you to
I did not.
answer.
I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. I slowly.
I'm ready for this
Will the
answer.
Reardon and Broadnock leg of the triangle get sexier? You know, that's a thing. That's a question I got a lot after the first book was like, please tell me that something happens there. What I will say is that it's very clear, at least for me, that Brynock as Faye is very fluid in his sexuality and in his attraction.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
is.
think he would mind if things went that direction at all. I think that there's definitely a love there. There's going to be, a bond that's formed by loving the same woman, by, being in one another's spaces. And if you want to know if it turns into something else, you're going to have to read books 2 and 3.
That's
But
fair.
obviously, I mean, I don't think it's possible to continue in the book series without their relationship progressing and evolving. And what that looks like, I won't spoil, but there's going to be like an obvious there'll be an obvious growth of emotion and connection between the two of them. And
I
it's
feel like
one of my
Brynock would
favorite
always be
parts.
down.
Yeah.
Oh, he always. I feel
Always.
like Reardon would be like, "Do you want?" And he'd be like, "Naked, yes."
Yes. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. And I think it's going to be one of those things that is part of like Reardon's arc, right? Is like what he wants and what he's comfortable with. And I because I don't think that, it would be an issue for Bry. And I don't think that Ash would ever deny him any kind of happiness that he wanted, especially given how accommodating they are of her and her needs. So we're going to have to see. Yeah, we did get to that one. That said, how did you find writing the Spexy time scenes? Was it easy, or did you have moments where you struggled with how to phrase scenes? I enjoy the Smexy time scenes. I don't have a problem writing them. I think if anything, it's just like diversifying words without making it like, her flower and she bloomed for him. Like, I don't want to do that. So I tend to be like a little bit more like vulgar with the wording just because I'm not going to tiptoe around it or baby it or anything. I will say I was very comfortable writing the sex scenes. I was less comfortable with the fact that my 92-year-old grandmother and both of my parents have read the sex scenes. But like in general, I don't have a problem with them. I really enjoy them. I will say though that there were times during the drafting process where I was in like either in a mood myself where I was just like not feeling it, or I had just written something really emotional and I'd moved into a section of the book where like I had to write a sex scene, and I was like, I would just leave a marker and just be like, sex scene here. Amber's like, who are you? Like, you're skipping the sex scenes. I was like, I'm not in the right headspace. I'm not writing it right now. And I'd have to come back and like fill it in. So
Because
yeah.
so people don't know this, but fun fact: Julie and I met about 12 years ago. We were both blogging. We both had normal, like day-to-day blogs that we wrote stories for, but we also both had secret sexy time blogs. And we did a blog swap, and we got us like on a random thing, and we got assigned to each other. And so I wrote one for hers, and she wrote one for mine, and that's how we met. And we've been friends ever since. So when I tell you that she has no problem writing Smexy time.
Oh.
12 years I've known that. Okay. Just so you know. Because like you had
No.
some on there that I was like, woo. It's gone. Don't even look for it. It's gone. And it
Yeah,
was
you will
secret
not find it.
anyway. It was secret.
It was anonymous. It was anonymous and you will not find it, but yes. But yeah, it was that part doesn't necessarily bother me. It's just I think if anything, I really wanted to balance out the um amount of Smexy time. I wanted it to be something that was always multi-purpose. Like it didn't just serve as like a fun part of the book, but it also served as like a bonding or a coping, like it said something about the characters. We have a situation where Reardon is having like a really rough time and he's like, I don't need you to fix me. Like, this is not what, this is or whatever. Like, this is not going to, and she's like, I'm not trying to fix you. So there's always like very open communication about the intentions and what it means to everybody. And those were really important conversations for me to have on page. And then, especially with like Reardon coming off of the grief from his parents' death and the way that he coped with that, to move into like a healthy physical relationship, and then like have that open, conversation. And so yeah, I wanted to make sure that it always served a purpose other than just being like gratuitous sex. Like it had to mean something.
The diddle diddle, the diddle diddle, the fiddle fiddle.
You were like, wow. Like she just did that. And I was like, yeah. You're like, well, that's okay. That's staying in there? Like, is that still in there? And I was like, oh, it's still in there. You're like, okay.
I got to it again this last time that I read it, and I was like, it's still there. Okay.
All right.
I think my only feedback was like, I don't think Branagh would stand by silently. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yes, I wouldn't call it a triangle. I would say, it's very much, Kathy has it. I think you do too. She's not going to pick one. I think that at the end of book one, we kind of know that they're a team, they're in it together. And I can definitely confirm that at no point during the series will she need to choose between either one of the men, nor will they ever ask her to. It's just not.
I love that for them.
Yeah, that's not in the cards for them. And I didn't want to do like a bait and switch. I didn't want to have book one and have people be excited to see a healthy, like kitchen table polyamorous relationship where these people are in a loving, committed, open communication relationship with one another. And I didn't want to take something that was a positive representation that people have really been excited about seeing on page, and then turn around in the next books and like crap on that and make it like a jealousy thing or have some miscommunication come in and ruin that. That's not the journey for this book. I want people to see a healthy polyamorous relationship. I want to see that healthy dynamic and that communication continue throughout the series. And so, yeah, I don't think that's a spoiler. That will very much continue throughout the rest of the series. I have
you've been
no
open
intentions
about that from the beginning.
Yeah, I have no intentions of having that be something that we need to worry about. Will there be ups and downs? Like, yeah, there's always ups and downs in like every relationship. But at the end, they're gonna be there for each other. So that's not something we need to worry about.
It's not about a triangle. It's not about choosing.
No. As for how it's all going to turn out, I can't answer all of the questions. Like, I mean, obviously, I won't give away.
You got to read book 2 and 3.
Yeah, I can't promise everybody makes it out unscathed or anything, but like, there will not be choices made. My friend performed a song in front of her parents for the first time in a live audience, where the first line is, "You'll never make me scream the way he did." Yeah. Yep. Arts and family and sexy time.
Face like, I don't know this girl up here.
I don't know who that is. Yeah. My poor grandmother. She was like, how does she know? My light went off. How dare you? How very dare you?
Ago. A very long time
Well, why
ago.
would you not tell me?
Because I didn't want to bring attention to it.
I did. Listen, they're new lights. I don't know how to work them. But yeah, it's one of those fun things where I was like, oh, my uncle, the pastor, my aunt, the minister, my 92-year-old grandma. My dad was sitting in a hospital waiting room waiting for my mom to get done surgery, just reading it. And he's like texting me like, Jesus Christ, Julie. I'm in a hospital. Your mom's in surgery. I was like, I'm sorry.
You're the one that chose to read it right now.
You chose to read it. He's like, I didn't know. And I was like, well, now you do. So, yeah, my family's fantastic. And if they can handle it, then so can strangers. I'm not going to, it's an adult book. It's all right. I'm all right with it.
I just think your grandmother was confused in her Greekness of how this unmarried woman, how does she know what sex is?
How does she know about
She's
this?
unmarried. How?
No. My dad was like, are you telling her or am I telling her? I was like, nobody's telling her. No one says anything. I was like, I see you. No one says anything.
I dreamed it. I dreamed it.
Research, it's fine. That is
I've been
funny.
researching
Oh, very
for
good.
20 odd years now for that.
Check out the link. I don't know which way to point. You can check that out there. Um, oh, that's funny. So yeah, hopefully you've had time to get over to that giveaway link,
We
the
put it in one
Pinterest
more
link.
time.
Yeah, put it in one more time. If anybody has any questions, definitely let me know. If you have any questions about or theories or hopes and dreams for book 2 or book 3, or any, questions about the publication, anything at all. If you have any questions, now's the time to ask them. Because I'm still going to do writing tonight. I just wanted to chat with you guys. So yeah. And I just appreciate you. And just another opportunity for me to say thank you. That's all. Because it's been a really, really interesting journey from like me really truly assuming that this was just going to be a quiet thing that like friends and family found out about. And like maybe my YouTube channel like would generate a couple sales. And then you're like, oh, you're in the Unplugged book box. I was like, what? Pure panic.
What?
Pure panic. And there was a period of time there where it was just like an option. It was like something that they had come to my publisher asking if we could work out. And I had so much, you can ask Amber, I had so much anxiety. I was like, this has to work. This is like, I cannot believe they even want to do this. As a debut author, Melanie, the owner of Unplugged, had not read the arc. She didn't know it wasn't out yet. There was no early reviews. There was nothing. And she went, I want it. And I was like, what? Absolutely mind blown. So it has been a crazy, crazy like release for this book. And it is like beyond anything I could have ever hoped for. And you guys are a part of that. So thank you, because it's been wild. Like in the best way, but also wild. And as somebody who was like always waiting for the other shoe to drop, I've kind of accepted that like, well, maybe we won't. Maybe we're good. Maybe it's okay. And I'm just kind of leaning into that like creative confidence. Like, nope, I can do this. We've got this. And I'm really excited to continue to bring you guys the rest of the series, which will be, and I announced this a couple other places, but it will be self-published. I am not going to go through the publisher that I went through for A Curse and Ash. I just feel like at this point, it's something that I can do on my own. And I'm going to outsource the services for developmental editors and copy editors and proof editors and cover designers. Amber. And yeah, I'm gonna do it on my own, but it's gonna be great. And I'm really excited to have like the power over seeing numbers, because people keep asking me like, well, how's the book doing? How's it performing? I was like, I won't know for another 3 months. I don't know. I have no clue. So yeah, I'm excited about that. And it'll give me a lot more freedom, and we're gonna see how it goes. But I'm really excited to get you guys book 2. I think you guys are gonna be really happy with it, and hopefully it's worth the wait. The goal right now is to have it out at like around the year mark of A Curse and Ash. Hopefully.
So October-ish.
October-ish, because I don't want to push it any further than like the first week of November, because then you run into like the close for the holidays and like sales issues, and it just becomes like not the right time to market a book. So I'm going to hope to have it the same time frame. So now I'm just researching editors. That's not stress inducing at all. So like I said, if you know any professional editors or graphic designers and or character artists, because I do want to still commission that character art, let me know. And I'll share it as soon as I get any character art in. I'll share it because I'm really excited about it. Are the lengths of books 2 and 3 going to be close to book 1? I don't know the exacts yet, but I do know that the rough first draft of book 2 is already just a couple thousand shy of where book 1 is. And I know that I still have to flesh out a lot of stuff, because I definitely left some things where it's just like scene here or this there. A couple of them are Smexy time scenes, but like I left just blanks for things. And I always tend to like take away and then add back in, right? And I
I have
am
a feeling
not
they'll be
somebody.
longer.
they're going to be longer. I'm not somebody that writes a lot of physical description or sensory descriptions in my first draft. I really focus on dialogue and like character stuff. So then I have to go back in and add a lot of that like sensory visual stuff. So they always get longer. Aphantasia. So definitely I would say they're going to be longer than book one. Hopefully not like ridiculously so, but I would say comfortably that they're going to be longer than book one. And I personally, I think one of the things that I got most excited about when I got my proof copy for Curse and Ash was like how like weighty it feels. Like it feels significant. It feels like a good value for your money. Like it just feels like it's a solid book. And I think that's like one of the first things that I said to you when I got it. I was like, she's chunky. Like she's thick. She means it.
Yeah. She's a good size.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is my Amazon. Yeah, this is my Amazon copy.
It makes me happy.
Maybe not. I don't know which is which anymore.
I don't know either. So yeah, longer is better. Great. Longer is great. I like longer too. It makes me happy. I'm just really excited. Thank you for loving my characters and loving my book and talking about it and sharing it and being here to talk to me about it. Please know that if you ever have any questions about the book or just in general, feel free to reach out. All of my social media is listed down below. I love talking to you. I love seeing your pictures. I love hearing your thoughts. Yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate you a whole bunch. And I appreciate you being here and reading it so quickly. I had like a lot of fear that no, that's interesting. That I was going to like come and nobody was going to be here because, you know, I knew that it was like a very short span of time between release and being here. So I knew somebody was going to be here, but you know, you get what I mean. Thank you for coming and chatting about the book with me and being excited about it. Continue to tell your friends about it. Make sure you leave reviews for indie authors and small authors. They mean a lot. And feel free to share often because it is amazing when you can see that kind of love and support for a story that means so much to you. I think they always say that like every author has their one like heart story, right? Like I've got other books that I'm writing or have written that I'm querying, but this really is the characters and the story that I was most excited to tell. So being able to tell it has been like an absolute dream. It's not just like, oh, I got to publish a novel. It's really that I got to publish a novel that I really, really love, that has just been a part of me for so many years. So it's been awesome to share that with you. Thank you.
Also, there's 40 minutes almost exactly left on the giveaway. So make sure you go and you join.
And you join. I will leave it for a little bit. I'll leave it until the end. But yes, I will pull it and then I will reach out to the winner and let you know. And then just give me a little bit of grace while I make time to actually annotate it because I got a lot going on. But I am really excited to dive into it and annotate it for you. Trust me, there are so many little like moments or like thoughts that I had when I was writing the book or working on the book. And I'm really excited to dive in and leave some annotations because I have a lot of personal little memories attached to scenes and attached to things.
I think it's also valid to tell people that, you know, right now, the only way to get a signed copy of your book is through a book plate, whereas this will be a physically signed book. You're not doing many of those. So like, it's really kind of a big thing to actually have a physical signed book that's not a book plate. So
yeah. I'm only, at this point, I've only signed like people that I've seen in person. So that's been kind of cool though to sign books in person. But yeah, it's not something that I see myself doing anytime soon, is like selling any kind of like personally signed books, because it wasn't something that I could offer at release. And I don't want people to be upset or have feelings hurt that like this was something that I, you know, sorry, I know it's just so bad. I had people that really wanted to have a signed copy of the book, but I wasn't in a place where like I didn't have copies of the book when it launched or enough copies of the book to handle like sending out that many and mailing out that many. So it wasn't an option. And I can't, and I wouldn't tell people no then to turn around and do it now. That would not be fair. So I will not sell anything that is signed and personalized. They will be strictly for giveaways. So yeah, there's that.
So you're going to have a very special copy. It'll be your first annotated copy, and it'll be actually signed and personalized in the book itself, not a book plate. So it's a special copy. You guys really, I'm not going to sign up for the giveaway because I don't think that's fair, because I just get, you can sign my books and annotate them anytime. So, but you guys should sign up because it's a great prize.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited about it. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for our chat. Thank you for joining. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for the love on the Pinterest board, Amy. I see you. Yeah, they were fun to put together. So thank you for being here, for being a part of the night, for being a part of A Curse and Ash and the joy that I have bringing this to you. Remember, if you're interested in the Unplugged exclusive, check out the link down below. You're going to want to snag that box sooner than later. And I will see all of you, I don't know, soon, right? Tomorrow night in Sprints, if you're a writer. Yeah, at 8 p.m.
You can read.
Or reading, 8 p.m. EST. If you got a planner, meal planning, studying, reading, writing, anything to do, we'll be here 8 p.m. EST. And then again next weekend, constantly.
Every weekend.
I think every weekend. Friday night on Jessica's Sprints, Jessica Williamson's Sprints, will be on like camera on with her on Friday. And then we'll do Saturday, Sunday. So yeah. I'm always around. And again, social media is down below. Don't be shy. You can reach out at any time. If you're reading, you have a question, something pops up, whatever it is, let me know. I look forward to it. And that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you, everybody.
It was fun talking to you about your book. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And all the times that you calmed me down and brought me back down to earth. There would have been a lot more breakdowns if it hadn't been for Amber being like, take a breath. I'm like, you take a breath. It's not that easy.
And I'm passive aggressive, and I'm like, there you go. There's my breath.
Thank you. You guys are great. Have a fantastic night. I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow on my sprint.